Are you someone who keeps their word? Someone who, when they say they're going to do something, they do it? Do you consider yourself reliable and that you are trustworthy and that you follow through with the things that you commit to? Now, the question is, when I'm asked all these questions, what came to mind? Situations that involved others or yourself? Today, what I want us to talk about is how to show up for yourself even when it's hard. Because what I often find, myself included, is that it's really easy to give our word to others and to make sure that we keep it. We follow through. We are someone who does what we say we'll do, except when it comes to ourselves. When we say, this is really important and I'm going to work on this, or I am going to block this time for XYZ, that is a priority to ourselves, it's also the first thing that we move. It's the easiest thing to adjust or to delay or to just cancel. Why is that? Today, I want us to talk about how to show up for ourselves, even when it's hard, and how to keep our word not only to others, but to ourselves as well. So, let's dive in. Are you too busy to prep healthy meals? Do you feel self-conscious about your body and your clothes not fitting right, but you don't have time to work out? Does your life feel unorganized and messy? Do you wish you had routines and habits that made health simple, even with your busy schedule? I know, I've been there. Hi, I'm Shannon Marquita, and no one ever really taught me how to eat healthy. I didn't know anything about nutrition, so I found myself eating whatever was easy, which definitely impacted my energy, weight, and focus. That's why I created this podcast, to show you that through healthy habits and time management, you can know you're doing health right. So stop scrolling social, clicking the ads, and buying all the things. Let's grab our Americano and pop in our AirPods. It's time to solve the real problem together. Welcome home. A fresh start awaits. As we start today about how to show up for yourself even when, and honestly, more so, especially when it's hard, I want to start by giving you two things to think about. One is that consistency isn't about being perfect. I know that can be really confusing or tempting to think consistency is about always showing up and I never miss a day and I get to check off every box on my tracker or whatever that looks like for you. But really, consistency is about choosing to keep going, not giving up, even in the setbacks and the hard days and the missteps, as well as how showing up for yourself isn't always easy, but a reminder that it's always worth it. Because every time that we show up for ourselves, we're honestly reminding ourselves, or even sometimes teaching ourselves for the first time, that we're trustworthy, that when we say something, we mean it. That it's not just the importance of others and everyone else matters, but we do too. And this is a really important lesson because you might not have experienced this in your life. People maybe didn't always show up for you, or maybe you felt like it was you against the world, or you have to pave a way for yourself. And whatever your past looks like, whatever you have lived through or experienced, I hope that you're in a place right now where you know that you're worth it and you are reminding yourself of this truth. And a really important way to do this is to keep your word, not just to others, but even more so to yourself, because that is a lesson that we want to continue to reiterate and have take such deep roots that we don't question ourselves or our worth, because we know that we matter and we choose ourselves and to show up day after day, which really is a big piece of the why. Why is it important to show up for yourself, even when and especially when it's hard? And the answer is because self-discipline is the highest form of self-respect. We make a commitment to ourselves and we keep it day after day, choice after choice, and we are learning to value, respect, and trust ourselves through these decisions. I know for me, one of the easiest ways that I constantly have to overcome putting myself on the back burner or not keeping my commitment is with my health and fitness, more so my fitness. But because I have a tendency to give, I'm definitely a giver. I am just the epitome of serving others and I love it. But at the same time, that means that I often sacrifice myself between my energy, between my commitments. And so I have to to get really intentional with a schedule and a routine in order to make things flow in such a way that it's such a habit. I don't break my promises to myself because they are part of my daily routine, and it allows me to still give to others. Because for a while, I was trying to get my workouts in wherever they would fit. And that's not a plan. That's a hope. That's a wish. That's a prayer, but that's not a plan. And so sometimes I would try and wake up early and squeeze it in. Sometimes I would try and do it at the end of the day. But at least for me, I had a tendency to always be so exhausted that it often wouldn't happen, or only part of it would happen, or it would simply get delayed until hopefully the next day, which might become 2 or 3 days later. It just was extremely inconsistent because I wasn't committed to showing up for myself. I hadn't developed as strongly as I would like the muscle of self-discipline, and I was just giving everything away in my energy and my time and showing up for all my commitments to others that I was not keeping them to myself, and it really suffered. So one thing that I had to do is really break down how I could make this simpler. And this is something that I talk about often because we create these big goals, and I'm not saying the goals aren't good because they often are. But if we just focus on the big goals, they get really overwhelming or intimidating or seem unattainable because we know where we are right now and we know where we want to go, but the gap in between seems too big to fathom or to understand the process. And so we often give up, or we delay, and we just think it's not possible when really it is. So using my example of working out and how this was really important to me and still is, because it gives me increased confidence and energy, and it honestly reminds me that I'm valuable and I'm worthy because I'm choosing me, but it's also flexing and strengthening my self-discipline muscle that I have to use all day long in the choices of how I show up, how I produce, and what I am accomplishing. And so for me, I started breaking this habit down instead of trying to fit it in wherever I could, which even sometimes was at the office. I'd bring my workout clothes, I'd shut my door, I'd push play on a little workout video, and I would just do what I could, which is worth celebrating. Please don't get me wrong. Do what you can, but don't just hope that it happens. Make a plan, commit to yourself, and then make sure it happens. So what this started looking like is I took a step back. I evaluated my schedule, and what I could consistently commit to was at least 30 minutes in the evening. It would usually happen as soon as I got home. I would include my dog because I also knew that he needed some outside time and fresh air and exercise, and we just began to walk. I would walk with him different routes. I use an Oura ring, which is honestly one of my favorite purchases in my entire life. So if you don't have one, I strongly encourage you to research it and get one. But that aside, it tracks our route. And so I would know how far we walked, how many calories burned, how much time it took. And so I would use this information to constantly improve, and when I had more time, be able to increase the distance. So now I know exactly how much a mile is, how far a mile and a half is. So if I am only able to add on 15 minutes, then I can easily add on half a mile because I know the exact route that I have to take that gives me that distance and how long it takes in order to reach the goal of the amount of time I have for this practice. So I broke down the goal into a smaller, more attainable habit that honestly accomplished two things. It gave me exercise, it gave me fresh air, it gave me time with my dog that was just fun with no expectations. It gave him exercise. So like we've talked about in the past, it's habit stacking, where I got to check off a lot of boxes. It let me keep my commitment that I made to myself because I am a priority too. And it let me then build upon it. So after a while, once this was an established habit, then then I could add in some weights. Or as my schedule changed, I could add in some additional workout time that was focused with equipment. And right now, what my schedule looks like is every single morning I work out for an hour. Now, every single morning, every weekday, I work out for an hour with one of my best friends. So it gives me quality time with friends where we get to catch up and chat. It gives me the fitness aspect, and it's guided because we go to a gym that has 30-minute classes, which is awesome. Seriously, that's such a sweet spot. So if we can only do one, great, we're in and out. If we can do two, which is most times, then we are staying for an hour, but they are trainer led, which means we just get to show up and we have the weights and we have the equipment and we have the circuit, all the things and the encouragement and all of it from somebody who took the time to create it because that's their job. And we just got to show up and reap the rewards. So again, we're keeping our commitment to ourselves of being active and healthy. And in this case, I'm also getting friend time and I am not having to exert extra effort of trying to make a whole plan. And this gym is honestly also so close to my house, so it's extremely convenient. For me, it's less than 15 minutes. So if you're able to do anything like this, I would strongly encourage you to figure out what works. Stop overcomplicating it. There will be a season where if you want to go to the gym for 2 hours, go for it. If your favorite gym is an hour away, go for it. But that might not be the season you're in right now. So you need to be able to adjust, make it realistic, and something that you can stick to and isn't so out of reach that you end up just not doing it. Now, continuing to use this fitness example, I want to also say that having accountability in whatever you do increases your likelihood of success immensely. So for me, with working out with one of my best friends, it also helps because each week we talk about our schedule and we see what classes work. And one week, if she needs one thing or I need another, we just adjust. So we make sure that we're both there together because there's a lot to say for showing up. And sometimes we both can't always work out together. So there are times where she goes by herself or I go by myself, but it's extremely limited. But because of our commitment, even though we're technically not going with each other and quote unquote by ourselves, you walk in and you've already developed community. Like people recognize you and they say, hey, great to see you. Where's your friend? And they miss you when you're gone and they message you, or there's an accountability group page where everybody kind of checks in. So it's just really wonderful to have those reminders and encouragement and accountability. If you put up sticky notes with affirmations or words of encouragement for yourself, that goes a long way too. I know people who put things in their phone so that it's a reminder of however you need to phrase it, whether it's just workout or appointment or whatever, it's in your calendar so that you can't move it. So that if you go to make another appointment or to make other plans, you realize, oh, I already have something that's blocked, right? It's like a doctor's appointment. You don't want to move it because it's hard often to get in, or whatever the appointment that's important to you is, it's in there and you respect the time. And so you adjust things around it accordingly. And so sometimes even blocking it in your calendar is extremely valuable as a reminder that you have made a commitment and that time is taken. Now, all of that being said, just like we started in the beginning, consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing to keep going. So I also want to remind you to give yourself grace. I know one of my mentors, when she first said this, it really stuck with me because she said something that has really helped to encourage and guide her is the phrase, you can miss one day, but you can't miss two. So if you miss one day, it's like, okay, whoops, or today was just crazy, or there was so much that was unaccounted for or unexpected or came out of left field. Give yourself grace. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, today was one of those days, but tomorrow we're back at it. And that's the phrase, you can miss one day, but you can't miss two. You're always committed to get back on track because these are habits and routines that you have set and you have said they're important to you. And you are somebody who keeps your word and shows up not just for others, but also, and arguably more importantly, for yourself too, even when it's crazy, even when it's hard. If you miss a day, come back. And remember, consistency is about progress, not perfection. So even on the hard days, you are worth showing up for. You are valuable, you are loved, you are worthy. Consistency isn't about being perfect, it's about sticking with it, continuing to show up, continuing to move forward and becoming constantly more and more every day the person that you know you're meant to be. And that is someone who is reliable, who is trustworthy, who is self-disciplined, even when it's hard. And I also want to remind you that if you're feeling stretched or drained right now, you can always grab my Energy Boost guide. This is so valuable. I've gotten such good feedback. It has different audio guides and clips in it to help kind of rejuvenate you no matter what time of day it is or what season or period you're going through. And it also has some links to some supplements that are clean that can help you if you are just in an especially unique season where you need a little bit extra of a boost or a pick-me-up, because I don't want you to get burned out. You honestly need to protect your peace like your success depends on it, because it does. And you protect your peace by showing up and honoring your priorities and yourself, whether it's rest, whether it's movement, whether it's just pausing, whether it's remembering that you matter too, not just everybody else. Because sometimes we can get in a season where we feel like we're giving, and people are taking. And we need to remind ourselves that we matter too, that we are here and people see us, and someone that sees you is yourself. And you have to know without a doubt that you are always worthy and that you matter. And sometimes you're the most important person that can remind yourself of this piece. Because the more that you neglect yourself, your purpose suffers. Your well-being is your wealth. You have to take care of yourself. You have to never forget that you matter. You are not behind. You are constantly becoming a better version of yourself that you need for this season, that your family needs, that your loved one needs, that your career and employees or coworkers need. So no matter the season that you're in, I just need you to remember that this is a season. It will not always be either this busy or this hard, but you are growing. So pause, learn, and remember that you are worth showing up for even when it's hard. Talk to you soon. If this podcast helped, challenged, or inspired you in some way, I would love it if you'd do me a huge favor and leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps me to hear from you and know how this is best serving you. And go ahead and screenshot this and share it in your stories. Tag me at Shannon Marquita. That's ShannonMarqueta. And send it over to a friend in a text who is ready for healthy changes in her life too. Let her know that this episode might serve her as well. I am just so grateful for you and would love to hear from you. Come hang out and let's connect over in my Facebook group, bit.ly.com/afreshstart, or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you back here in a few days.